Hey, stop! That's my car! I ran towards the two men towing my car from my school parking lot. As soon as I got to them, I shoved one of them.
Hey, relax. We're here to deliver your new car and take this one.
I stared at him in confusion until he pointed to a brand new sports car with a red ribbon. A Lamborghini? Oh yeah, baby! Hello, I'm Nate, and I live in the luxurious Upper East Side in New York. Please like and subscribe. Growing up, my sister Lily and I had everything except a mother, who abandoned us when we were very young. After she left, Dad immersed himself into his job, and in just a few years, he became one of the wealthiest men in the city. We barely saw him, but we did see his money. He bought us whatever we wanted, from the latest designer clothes to the latest gadgets, which made me popular at school.
Dude, is that the latest iPhone? Where did you buy it? They're not even in stores yet.
Oh, my dad spoke to Apple, and they made a custom one for me. I loved the look on their faces when they realized just how rich I was. By the time I was in high school, Lily and I were pretty much living on our own. That meant we got into a lot of trouble, but Dad always bought our way out. Until one day, when Lily used his credit card to buy dozens of designer clothes and hand them out to homeless people. When he got a call from the bank, he came home immediately.
What were you thinking?
Chill, Dad. I was only doing some charity work. Something you should do more of.
You're grounded for a month and I'm taking all your credit cards.
Fine. At least I got you to come home.
She stormed into her room and slammed the door.
What happened to my sweet little girl?
Dad looked so sad. But what did he expect when he was always gone? On my 18th birthday, for instance, he surprised me with a brand new sports car. I mean, it was a pretty cool gift, but he wasn't there to celebrate with me. Inside the new car was an envelope, and in it was a birthday card and a black credit card.
Dear son, you only turn 18 once. Please use the card to have some fun with your friends. Oh, and I hope you like the color I chose for the car. If not, let me know and I'll send another one.
The card wasn't even in his handwriting. I'm sure he had his assistant write it.
Nice ride. Does it come with good looks?
I looked up to see my arch nemesis Brody with his foot on the hood of my car. I heard a laugh and I turned in shock to find my own girlfriend Maya laughing at Brody's joke. Seriously, Maya?
What? It was funny.
Sometimes I wondered why I was still dating her. I revved the engine, but Brody didn't budge. Move.
Or what? Instead of trying to run me over, let's go to the racetrack and see if your little toy has any power to beat me. Unless you're afraid to lose.
Ever since I caught Brody cheating in a math test, and I reported him, he hated my guts, and he did everything he could to agitate me, including flirting with Maya, who seemed to enjoy it. Sometimes I wondered if she really cared about me at all. That's the problem with being rich. You never know who genuinely likes you. Right after Brody's taunt, Maya started to chant, and everyone else joined in.
Race, race, race.
I'll never lose to you, and that junk you call a car. Let's give the people what they want.
See you at the racetrack.
A few minutes later, Brody and I were squared off at the racetrack, while our friends cheered wildly. I gripped my wheel and revved my engine. Brody and I exchanged cold looks, then we were off. Brody's car was obviously not a match for mine, so in just a few seconds he was trailing me. I checked the rearview mirror to see how far behind he was, but that was a mistake. Because next thing I knew, I was veering off the track and right into a ditch, while Brody sped off to an easy win. I was so enraged that I jumped out of my car and started kicking it in frustration. Ugh, stupid car! Brody laughed in my face, so I punched him and he fell. He got up and charged at me, but our friends held him back. I then walked home, leaving the car behind for the insurance company to pick up and fix. As months passed, Dad became even busier and hardly noticed mine and Lily's bad behavior and extravagance. Since he took away Lily's credit cards, she got into more trouble by shoplifting and fighting at school, while I indulged in more car races, crashing multiple times and incurring huge repair bills. I even took out a page of Lily's book by literally making it rain dollar bills in the streets of New York for people to scramble for. I was living without a care in the world and spending money like I had a bottomless vault of it. However, that all changed when one day Maya and I got to my house to find mountains of stuff out on our front lawn.
Oh my God, are you being robbed?
Just then, Lily shouted from my bedroom window.
Nate, come in here.
She sounded panicked, so I took the stairs 2 at a time, and I found her in tears.
They took everything.
Who's they?
Some scary men. Dad's talking to them downstairs.
I ran out looking for Dad and found him talking to some men in dark suits and even darker sunglasses. Dad, what's going on?
I'm sorry, son. We've lost everything. These are debt collectors, and they're here to auction our property, including the mansion.
What? I could hardly breathe at this point. Just then, an auctioneer's announcement caught my attention.
The next item is the latest Lamborghini model. We will start the bid at $200,000. Do I hear 205? 250. Do I hear 255?
After a while, he banged his gavel.
Sold to the gentleman in red.
This was starting to feel like a bad dream. Not only had my car been sold right before my eyes, it had been sold to Brody.
Don't worry, I'll take good care of it.
Whatever, dude. Come on, Maya. Get out of the car. I opened the passenger door, but Maya didn't move.
Actually, I don't want to be your girlfriend now that you're poor. I'll date Brody now.
Oh, wow. Talk about a slap in the face. Leave, both of you. Brody laughed as he jumped into the driver's seat.
Guess you've finally lost everything to me.
I couldn't believe Maya had just dumped me like that. But I guess it was really good riddance. She had been a horrible girlfriend. A very long and tiring bus ride later, we arrived at our lake house. Only, it wasn't a lake house anymore. It was a restaurant. Dad, what?
I'm so sorry, kids. I sold the lake house to a friend, but she's agreed to let us stay in the garage.
Please say you're joking. There's no way I'm living there.
You won't. You'll go live with Mrs. Brock and her family.
I left Dad and Lily arguing and walked into the musty room. There's barely anything in here.
You'll get used to it.
The room was smaller than my bedroom. And this was supposed to be what? Our whole house? The next morning, Dad took me to the side of the lake that I'd never been to before. Why did you bring me here?
We'll be working here now.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll receive fish from the fishermen and sell it in the village.
As I stared at my dad, a girl jumped out of a boat, carrying a bucket full of fish. She dumped the fish near my feet and started washing them. I couldn't stand the smell, so I turned around and tried my best not to gag.
Wuss?
The girl started to laugh. I was about to say something mean when she stood up.
Hi, I'm Rose. Sorry I called you a wuss. I've just never seen anyone grow so pale at the sight of fish.
That's all right. Just not used to it. I'm Nate. I'm new here.
New? Then you must come to the bonfire tonight and you can see our beautiful village under the stars.
After the couple of days that I'd had, that sounded perfect, so I agreed to go. Rose and I hung out a lot after that. I learned that she made and sold beautiful jewelry. I even started to ditch Dad's fish-selling business just so I could watch her make jewelry. I was crushing hard. One afternoon, she showed up with a picnic basket and asked me to take a walk with her. She led me through dense bushes until we came to a suspension bridge. The steps were made from wooden planks tied together by ropes and suspended by even more ropes. Yeah, no thanks. Rose must have sensed my fear because she took my hand.
You'll be fine, I promise. Just trust me.
We crossed the shaky bridge and came to a clearing. A whooshing sound came from behind the trees. What's that sound?
It's a surprise. Wait here.
Rose disappeared behind the trees, and after a few minutes, she asked me to join her. And when I did, my heart almost stopped. She was wearing a bathing suit, and that's not all. She was standing on top of a waterfall, ready to jump into the clear pond below.
Hurry! Take off your shirt! Let's jump!
I took off my shirt and took her hand.
1, 2, 3.
I closed my eyes and we jumped, landing into the ice-cold water with a splash.
Oh, that's cold!
That was the best afternoon of my life. When we got back to the restaurant, I was shocked to see my car parked outside. I got so excited thinking that Dad had bought it back for me. I ran into the restaurant expecting to see him, only to find Brody and Maya sitting at a table. What are you doing here?
My mom said that you were a fisherman now, and we just had to come and see for ourselves.
I'm really not in the mood for any of your games, Brody. I took Rose's hand and turned to leave, but Maya stepped in front of us. She looked Rose up and down, like a predator sizing its prey.
Aren't you gonna introduce us to your girlfriend?
She's not,
Hi, I'm Rose, but I'm not Nate's girlfriend. Yet.
I almost swallowed my tongue. Did she mean she wanted to be my girlfriend?
Aw, she likes you, Nate. You could both be poured together. I mean, look at her cheap necklace.
I made this. With what? Trash?
Maya reached out to touch the necklace, but Rose slapped her hand away. Rose was so angry. and so was I. Don't you touch her, and don't you dare insult her again. Her necklace might not be expensive like yours, but she made it herself and it's beautiful. At least she's not a gold digger like you. Maya rolled her eyes and turned to Brody.
Whatever, let's get out of here.
Rose, I'm so sorry.
Who are they?
She was close to tears, and I hated Maya and Brody for hurting her. My heart was pounding so fast as I stood close to her and leaned my forehead to hers. I wanted to kiss her so badly, and I was just about to, but suddenly Dad burst in looking breathless and pale. I stepped away from a blushing Rose. Dad, are you okay?
It's Lily. She's missing. Her friends say they saw her go into the woods.
Why would she do that? It's so dangerous. We started a search and rescue mission, gathering all locals and some policemen. Hours later, we were almost giving up our search when we heard a noise behind some bushes. I ran towards the sound, hoping to see Lily, but let out a scream when I came face to face with a bear. I stepped back slowly, then turned and ran, as I shouted for Rose and the others to run too. Just then, Rose stumbled on a twig and fell. The bear was right on our heels, so I threw my torch towards it. And while it got distracted, I dragged Rose to her feet and we kept running until we caught up with Dad and his group. Bear! Dad ordered everyone to stand behind him, and we held our breath waiting for the bear to appear, but it never did.
I guess I got tired of chasing you.
A few meters from us, someone shouted that they had found Lily. We rushed and found her huddled under a tree, shivering and cold. Dad and I hugged her and sobbed in relief.
We were so worried about you, Lily.
I'm so sorry. I saw Maya and Brody at the restaurant, and I went to look for Nate so I could warn him, but I got lost.
I hugged her more, then carried her out of the woods. This was turning out to be the craziest day of my life. Later at the hospital, the doctor assured us that Lily would be okay. I expected Dad to be happy, but when the doctor left, he started to sob uncontrollably.
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault.
I sat next to him and rubbed his shoulder. No, it's not. Besides, Lily's fine now.
If I hadn't lied...
Lied about what?
Everything. We're not poor, Nate. The auction was staged. We didn't lose anything. I wasn't in any debt.
Dad might as well have grown two heads. What?
I planned the whole thing.
Why would you do that?
I wanted to teach you and Lily a lesson. You'd become too spoiled and rebellious, and it was all my fault.
So, you decided to punish us?
I'm sorry, but can you call your time here punishment?
I thought for a few minutes, and yeah, he had a point. I'd really enjoyed my new life, but still. What? What about my car? Dad smiled a little.
Well, that's gone for real. Brody's mom bought it for him. You were putting your own life in danger.
So, what happens now?
As soon as Lily is well, we will leave and go back home.
A few months ago, I'd have jumped at that, but now I wasn't so sure. I couldn't imagine leaving Rose. Even as I spoke with Dad, I missed her. I have to go see Rose. I walked out meaning to go to Rose's village, but I found her sitting at the hospital waiting area.
How's Lily?
She'll be fine. Can we go somewhere and talk? We went to the beach and sat down on the sand. I explained everything to her, and when I told her what Dad had done, she burst out laughing. But when I told her that I'd be leaving soon, her laughter died.
Will you come back?
I'll come back, I promise. She lay her head on my shoulder, and I put my arm around her. My heart started to pound again, and I decided it was now or never. I needed to show her how I felt about her before leaving. I turned toward her, took a deep breath, and kissed her. She closed her eyes and kissed me back, and I knew I was definitely coming back. Back in the city, Dad got me a new car. He started spending more time with us. Lily went back to school, and I applied to a few colleges.
So, have you decided where you want to go to college?
Actually, yeah. I got accepted into one near the lake. Dad smiled.
Don't you mean near Rose?
Having Dad tease me about a girl was kind of embarrassing, but he was right. I couldn't wait to see her again. A month later, Rose and I reunited, and I helped her set up a jewelry shop in the village. It became a popular place for tourists looking for handmade jewelry. To be honest, this was the happiest I'd ever been. And even though it took Dad's crazy plan to get me there, I was glad he did.